Let's check this out right here. This is a clip that has kind of been making the rounds today. Gucci Mane's wife, Keisha Kayor, reveals how she handles his manic schizophrenic episodes, which...
Listen, everybody wants to talk about what went down, but let me tell you something first. If you don't understand who Keisha Kayor really is as a person, you're gonna miss the whole point of this story. And I mean her complete background, not just the surface level stuff. This is a Jamaican-born entrepreneur named Keisha Watson who turned herself into a self-made millionaire before most people even knew her name. We're talking about someone who launched Kayor Cosmetics, a fitness line, hair products, and co-runs Webster's Closet with her husband. Her company valuations hit $30 million by 2017. That's just 7 years after she started. No celebrity status helping her, no famous connections opening doors, just straight hustle and business intelligence. The whole cosmetics thing started because she wanted blue lipstick that didn't exist in stores, so she literally created her own by combining blue eyeshadow with lip gloss. People in her circle said she'd get laughed at. She ignored every single person and built a brand that celebrities like Tiana Taylor, Trina, and Nicole Snooki Polizzi actually wear. That's the level of confidence we're talking about. When Gucci spotted her in XXL's Eye Candy feature back in 2010, he was immediately interested. But Keisha wasn't just another person starstruck by a famous rapper. She actually hesitated and made him work to prove himself, which she openly discussed in her Fader interview. That mindset right there shows you how she operates. Calculated moves, not emotional reactions. Their relationship survived as legal troubles, multiple prison sentences, all the drama that comes with being connected to someone at that level in the industry. They got married October 17th, 2017 in Miami. Massive ceremony that reportedly cost $1.7 million, with BET funding it and filming a whole 10-episode series called The Main Event. They've got 2 children together, son Radrick Davis, born in December 2020, daughter Iceland Kayor. Davis born February 2023. The context of her staying loyal through the absolute worst periods matters more than people give credit for. But here's what really changes the game when you understand the full picture. Gucci Mane has been dealing with serious mental health challenges that the public didn't fully know about until his 2025 autobiography dropped. He revealed diagnoses of bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. Just sit with that information for a moment. One of trap music's founding fathers, someone who literally helped create an entire genre that reshaped hip-hop culture, built an empire, and signed future legends while battling those conditions internally every day. When he goes through difficult episodes and it needs to stay private, Keisha Kayor steps in with full authority over the situation. She gave a really raw interview on The Breakfast Club explaining her exact process. The moment she recognizes an episode starting, she's grabbing his phone and wiping Instagram completely, deleting every social media app. If passwords need changing to keep him offline, she's doing that without hesitation. Her reasoning? She refuses to allow the public to witness her husband in vulnerable states. Essentially, she's severing his access to the outside world as protection. Now, people have all kinds of opinions about that approach. Some view it as ultimate loyalty, protecting someone from themselves when they're incapable of doing it alone. Others see it as potentially problematic control issues. But here's the crucial part to remember as this story unfolds. If Keisha Kayor already has that level of influence over what Gucci sees, posts, and communicates publicly during vulnerable moments, you better believe she's gonna have major say in what happens when someone seriously violates her husband. And what allegedly happened on January 10th, 2026 was a level of disrespect this industry hasn't seen. To really understand the magnitude, you gotta know the history between Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty, because this was way deeper than just a standard label arrangement. When Gucci signed him to 1017 Records in 2020, Pooh Shiesty was a young Memphis artist building serious online buzz. Tracks like Back in Blood and Main Slime were generating real heat, and the potential was obvious. Gucci recognized it and brought him in completely, treating him like family the same way he's mentored artists throughout his whole career. Young Thug and Waka Flocka Flame will both confirm that when Gucci backs you, he's all in. This wasn't just contracts and business collaborations. Gucci literally gifted Pooh Shiesty a custom slime green Jeep Trackhawk worth 6 figures minimum to celebrate Shiesty season's success. Video showed Pooh Shiesty genuinely emotional and grateful, calling Gucci his mentor, and expressing real love on camera for everyone to see. Shiesty season hit number 4 on Billboard 200, moving 62,000 units first week. The kid was becoming a legitimate star, and Gucci played a major role in that happening. That seemed like real loyalty, right? That's what everyone assumed. But while all that public success was happening, Pooh Shiesty caught federal time. 63 months for an incident at a Florida hotel. He served that sentence in a Pennsylvania federal facility, and even during that period, Gucci Mane publicly confirmed Pooh Shiesty was still signed to 1017 after his release, keeping that position secure. That's genuine loyalty, holding someone's spot while they're locked up. Pooh Shiesty got released in October 2025 with a fresh opportunity ahead of him. The culture was hyped about his comeback. He still had label support, still had his platform. Everything was set up for him to build something even bigger. Except apparently, Pooh Shiesty had completely different plans, and those plans involved getting his label boss to Dallas. So here's where things get absolutely insane, and I'm breaking this down step by step, because this is the turning point. January 10th, 2026, a recording studio in Dallas, Texas. 3 music industry professionals, including the 1017 Records owner, obviously Gucci Mane, received invitations to Dallas for what appeared to be a legitimate business meeting about contract discussions. Standard industry business on the surface. So Gucci and his team flew to Dallas without any suspicion about what was actually waiting. According to Department of Justice statements, Pooh Shiesty personally set up this entire meeting, chose the location, set the time, sent the invitations. Federal prosecutors say the whole thing was a setup from the start. Once those 3 men entered that studio and the doors closed, Pooh Shiesty plus 8 co-conspirators, several who traveled from Memphis specifically for this, allegedly executed what prosecutors described as a coordinated armed takeover. The sequence went like this. Pooh Shiesty asked to speak privately with the label owner, just 101. Gucci goes into the recording room expecting a private business conversation. But Pooh's father, Lontrell Williams Sr., and rapper Big 30, government name Rodney Wright Jr., were also in there. So immediately, it's 3-on-1 in a closed room instead of the private talk Gucci expected. Pooh Shiesty produced contract termination papers right there, demanding Gucci release him from 1017 Records immediately. Gucci refused. An argument happened. Then Pooh Shiesty allegedly pulled out a weapon on the same person who signed him, bought him a 6-figure vehicle, and kept his record deal active during his prison sentence. Under that threat, prosecutors say Gucci was forced to sign the release papers. After signing under duress, his wedding ring was taken off his finger, watch off his wrist, jewelry removed, cash taken, completely robbed in that room. Meanwhile, the 8 co-conspirators allegedly had the other 2 people out front with weapons visible, robbing them as well. This was a full hostage situation inside a Dallas recording studio. And that same day, while this was allegedly happening, Keyshia Ka'oir was on Instagram promoting body cleanse products, completely unaware of what her husband was experiencing. Imagine finding that out afterward. Here's where people started connecting dots, and the story shifts from wild to strategically fascinating. January 10th came and went with Gucci saying nothing publicly at first. Robbery rumors started circulating online, and Gucci even posted Instagram photos showing his jewelry and chain like everything was normal. Most people thought he was denying the rumors, calling them fake, and the internet mostly moved on. But federal investigators definitely didn't move on, because Pooh Shiesty allegedly made multiple catastrophic errors. He was on home confinement when this supposedly happened, wearing an electronic monitoring device. His supervised release terms explicitly prohibited committing federal offenses and possessing weapons. These were the exact conditions of his release just 3 months prior. While he might have thought he was being smart, that monitoring device logged every GPS location constantly, placing him exactly where prosecutors claim. Surveillance cameras throughout the building captured the crew entering, cell phone records confirmed everyone's Dallas location, social media posts from Pooh Shiesty and his father around that time frame existed, plus surveillance showed one defendant leaving and returning with a duffel bag allegedly containing items used in the robbery. Evidence stacked systematically, building a federal case piece by piece. Now here's where Keyshia's role becomes critical to understand. When someone like Keyshia Ka'oir, who's been managing, protecting, and making major decisions about Gucci's life for years, discovers her husband allegedly had a weapon in his face and his wedding ring stolen by someone they trusted, the word on the street is she wasn't about to let that quietly disappear. The streets say Keisha pushed heavily for full cooperation with federal investigations, that she drove the energy behind ensuring this didn't get swept away like certain hip-hop situations tend to vanish. This wasn't just an attack on Gucci the artist. This was an attack on their family structure, their business operations, their entire livelihood that she helped construct. And Keisha Kayor doesn't let attacks on her built empire go unanswered. But it gets even more ironic because right as federal pressure intensified on Pooh Shiesty and his crew, the internet started digging and found an old Instagram live of Gucci Mane that's almost too perfect timing-wise. In the resurfaced clip, Gucci's clearly expressing anti-cooperation views, talking about handling situations himself without calling anyone, definitely not authorities. The clip went viral within hours of Pooh Shiesty's arrest news, and people went crazy in comments. Look, I get the reaction. Surface level, it seems contradictory. The same person who said he wouldn't cooperate is now connected to a DOJ press conference with U.S. attorneys discussing armed takeovers and people who came to Dallas for legitimate business purposes. But consider this. There's a fundamental difference between typical street conflicts and someone allegedly holding a weapon to your head, stealing your wedding ring, and forcing signatures under threat. That's not street business. That's a federal crime committed against you personally. Those are entirely different categories, and most reasonable people understand that distinction when being honest. Plus, the streets keep emphasizing Keisha Kayor's influence can't be underestimated here. This is someone who manages her husband's complete public presence through mental health crises. She's not emotional, she's calculated. Calculated people don't let something this serious slide. Jump to April 1st, 2026, April Fool's Day, but this was no joke whatsoever. FBI executed simultaneous raids on multiple locations. Pooh Shiesty's family home in Cordova, Tennessee got hit, while federal agents simultaneously moved on Dallas suspects. Coordinated federal execution. Pooh Shiesty arrested, his father Lontrell Williams Sr. arrested, Big 30 arrested, 8 of 9 total suspects taken into custody that single day, with the 9th still being actively pursued. April 2nd, 2026, Department of Justice made official announcements. 9 defendants federally indicted for coordinated armed kidnapping and robbery of 3 music industry professionals. April 3rd, surveillance images from the building got released publicly showing suspects entering and one leaving to retrieve the duffel bag. The charges are severe. Federal kidnapping, armed robbery under federal jurisdiction, not the type of charges you beat with minimal consequences. Pooh Shiesty had been released from federal prison in October 2025, meaning just 6 months of freedom before. This arrest allegedly happened while wearing an electronic monitor.